Okay. Sige. So, this is an open session. First off, and dinrop natin and sa chat yung link and code. You can actually invite other people to join in. If meron kayong people in mind na tingin nyo makakatulong sa kanila to get things sorted out, receiving advice, no? Sa buhay man yan, sa career, sa love life, anything na na tingin ninyo usual na na stuff na we may need support in. Okay. Sige, inviting everyone, pakita naman kayo. Yan, mag-video on tayo. Yan, paano nakikita natin sa Hello, JB. Yan.
Hey, coach.
It's Thursday pa lang ba? Sabihin ko dapat Happy Friday. Thursday nga pala natatapos ng ng mga kaganapan sa isang linggo. Work stuff. Anyway, sige. Anyone here can actually ask questions. So if you have stuff in mind or mga kailangan extra strategy or whatever, yeah, let us know ano yung sitwasyon and we can talk about that.
Sige, coach.
Game.
Kaya pa sila. Umpisahan ko na.
Sige bro, sige bro. Game.
And good afternoon. And, ayun. Nagsabit na ako ng resignation letter kanina.
That's a significant update. Okay.
Hindi siya sadya. Kasi, di ba yung usapan natin last time, parang, do not make any impulsive decision, lalo na kung hindi pa naman talaga prepared, kung wala ka pang lilipatan, gano'n. And, this time, hindi ako yung nag-initiate, pero indirectly, it affected that. Kasi, paano ba? Nag-enroll ako dun sa course. Yan, yung BBI. Ito. Ngayon, dahil dun sa pag-update ko ng profile picture, nagkaroon ng konting traction. So, I was attracting clients. Prospects pa lang. Pero the thing is, sobrang transparent ko kasi sa work ko. So, naka-add sa lahat sa akin, yung boss ko, yung TL ko, ganun. Ngayon nakita nila. So, they started asking questions, ganun. Like, ba't ka nagpalit? Alam mo naman may full-time ka, ganito, ganyan. Tapos, ayun. So, I go back dun sa usapan natin before, na, yun nga, yung dun sa emergency fund. Prepared na ba? How, yung savings mo, enough ba for how many months? Tapos, actually, dun din ako humugot nung pinag-invest natin sa PBA. Dun din ako nag-invest dun sa paghugot dun sa pinag-enroll ko sa course. Na, ayun, since the situation is there na, and life is good, and it can always be better, nileverage ko siya kasi imbes mas stress pa ako kung ano yung mga nare-research nila sa akin at bigyan nila ako ng kung ano-ano. Kasi emotional talaga kapag it comes with money, di ba? So instead of being emotional negatively, I want to be emotional positively na ma-excite ako dun sa near future. If makakakuha na ako ng clients agad doon, or yung napag-usapan natin last time wherein ima-max out ko yung existing offer ko sa freelancing. So yun yung ganap natin ngayon.
Solid. There's surely pros and cons to every situation. May adjustment period kapag magta-transition ka into something else, no? So in this case, it's a career move. It's a career shift. And there's always ways pa rin naman to figure out how things nga can get better. Okay? So, ang mahalaga lang dyan during transition is yung human function of the person in the journey, no? Kasi madalas, ang nagiging roadblock to transitioning well is kapag yung function of the person is compromised. Okay? So, yung well-being niya, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, kapag yung mga yan is because of the transition or during the transition, compromised, nagiging magulo yung pag embrace dun sa new things o dun sa change, no? Hindi nakakapag-adjust ng maayos. In this case, I see na it is a deliberate decision. So, ikaw talaga yung pumili na mag-let go. And inunahan mo lang, basically. So, napabilis yung timeline of the transition by making that choice to resign. Pero may 30 days rendering ka pa dyan, eh. So, hindi naman yan agad-agad. Ang rendering period, that's for the company to transition. Diba? Tapos para sa iyo rin na kapag may tanning na kasi yung isang part of our journey, nagpe-prepare na yung utak natin to embrace what is next. No? And even prepare for what is next. So good thing rin talaga na merong timeline yan. Alam mo na, okay, after 30 days na rendering na ganito, ito na yung next for me. Yeah. Meron bang any questions, bro? Like, from your current situation, may hugot na question ba for this?
Hindi siguro hugot. More like, looking for, kasi, reason why umalis ako doon, yung negative vibe na ini-interrogate, ayoko yun. Kasi it's not affecting positively. Ngayon, gusto ko sanang itanong, kasi more or less, mafe-free up niyan yung 8 hours ko. Is it best to invest that resources well with looking for clients na agad? Or should I invest half-half, one-third sa upscaling, or looking for pagpalit muna doon talaga, ganun?
Sure.
Kailangan ba akong pakahan?
Well, that depends. Kapag tumagal, na walang pamalit sa cash flow, dapat kang kabahan. Kasi kaya ka maghanap ng kliyente, di ba? Is para meron pa rin inflow, di ba, of money into your life. Because that's what's needed to sustain lifestyle needs, di ba, taking care of loved ones. Anyway, kailangan ba agad maghanap ng client? It actually depends. Pero in the case of freelancing, most of the time, okay, skill courses don't do much for people. Okay? Uh, Coaching and mentoring. Okay? These are forms of support na we can receive from the usual programs na we can enroll in or pwede rin one-on-one kung hindi man yung program. So kapag kina-coach ka, the coach provides guidance. So ano yung next steps, ano yung options, ano yung mga bagay na hindi mo pa nakikita. So by asking questions, lumilinaw sa'yo yung mga yun, no? Both the internal and the external na napapansin mo. Okay? So that's coaching and that's useful. You get guidance. With mentorship naman, you actually get specific knowledge points based on the experience of the mentor. So kaya niyang ituro sa'yo yung mismong technique, yung tactics, yung strategy, kasi mas alam niya yun more than you. Assuming na mas experience talaga yung mentor na yun in that specific area that you're learning. Okay, hindi mentor-mentoran lang. The idea is, kung ano yung wala pa sa experience mo at sa knowledge mo, yun yung i-fill na gap ng mentor. Okay? Now, ang pinakamalaking illusion sa business and freelancing world, okay, ang pinakamalaking illusion that most people subscribe to is what we call skill coaching or skill mentorship. Okay? Ang skill kasi ay hindi na ituturo at hindi na ipapasa. Okay? Linawin ko ulit. Kahit gaano kagaling yung skill coach mo, gaano kagaling yung skill mentor mo, hindi niya maipapasa sa'yo yung skills na meron siya. Okay? Kasi ang skills, nade-develop lang siya kapag meron kang practice outlet for that specific skill. Okay? Walang amount of consumption ng knowledge o naipasa sa'yo knowledge yung biglang magbibigay sa'yo ng specific skill. No. You need to practice a skill before it really becomes a skill. So kapag hindi mo siya pinapractice, know-how lang siya. It's instructions, it's steps of what to do. Kapag ina-apply mo yun, tsaka lang siya magiging skill. Okay? So walang ibang pwedeng magturo ng skill to another person, kundi yung pagpapractice ng mismong person na natututo ng skill. So ang pwede lang ituro at ipasa ay knowledge. O kaya pwede ka magkaroon ng guidance. Pero yung skill, ikaw lang talaga nagde-develop nun, wala nang iba pa. Pero nga, madalas na nangyayari sa atin in the entrepreneurial and freelancing space, iniisip natin ang heavy lifting for our skill learning is highly dependent on who we are learning from. Which is sadly, hindi natin nakakorrelate na kahit gaano kagaling yung ituturo sa atin, it's still our practice that develops the skill. Okay? So, in your case, haba ng intro doon, pero in your case, kapag wala kang pagpapracticean, walang skill na ma-develop. Kahit you are part of a program with skillful people teaching you and guiding you. So, kailangan mo maghanap ng kliyente. Isa sa pwedeng maging practice point yung business ng client. Pero, pwede rin naman hindi client per se. Pwede sarili mong venture. Pwedeng makipag-partner ka with someone else. Okay? Pero ang goal talaga is, kung gusto mong mag-upskill, kailangan mo ng pagpapracticean. Walang upscaling na nangyayari sa pag-consume lang ng information. Yan. So marami sa mga part of skill-based programs, di talaga nila natututunan yung skill kasi wala pa silang paggagamitan ng skill para ma-practice yun. Kung nagkakaroon ng sayang. Okay? So client is one of your options para magkaroon ka ng outlet na magamit yung skill and eventually ma-build yun. Pero pwede rin naman na hindi kliyente, specifically. Thoughts on this?
Yung ginagawa ko ngayon, coach, kasi the plan I have in mind is, aside from getting client, ang ginawa ko kasi one of the functions ng course na ina-enrollan ko is audit. Ang ginawa ko, in-audit ko yung sariling business ko. Tapos, yung mga dapat i-integrate ko na related sa growth ng mismong clients, in-incorporate ko muna sila dun sa mismong business ko. Sa, in Level Up with Jevy, yung the podcast itself. Tapos, ang iniisip kong parang backup plan if sabihin na natin, after 3 months, talagang zero pa rin, ganun. Kasi by profession, I'm an accountant, pwede pa rin siyang i-offer.
Yes. So, you have your options na and navigating this since okay yung emergency funds, kumbaga may cash flow runway ka to play around with. Building a career takes time. If mag-shift ka into something that you haven't done before, you're not known for it, you haven't built the network within that space, it will take time. And mas napapabilis if you can build on top of something. Okay. So, yung resources natin, diba? So, there's personal and shared resources. Yung time, energy, attention mo, that's something na personal. Pwede ka mag-build on top of that. Mas mag-google ka ng oras into building that career, different ways, shapes, and form. Yung other naman, you can build on top of money, you can build on top of social network. Okay? So instead na you start na mag-e-effort ka lang yourself, pwede ka bang mag-buy ng access into something that accelerates? Okay? Pwede ka bang mag-tap ng people who's already in that space? Or pwedeng both, which is something I do from time to time. I buy access to a specific space na merong mga tao na alam kong aligned with what I am building. Right? So, if you have the money or you have the network, or you can use money to generate network, and that's an accelerator for what you're building. Instead of effortan mo lang lahat from scratch, na ikaw, sariling effort mo lang. Oh. So, that's another option there. So, saang market ba talaga gusto mong mag-penetrate? Then, go to events na andun yung market na yun, na makakuha ka ng calling card ng mga tao, makapagbigay ka ng calling card sa kanila. Medyo old school yung example kasi ganun yung mga pinagagawa ko dati. Na hanggang ngayon, sa totoo lang, offline connections, kung papiliin ako kung offline o online, I've proven through the years na yung mga offline connections, yung mga taong nakaka-shake mo ng hands sa unang pagkikita nyo, na kasamang makita mo kung paano sila tumawa sa remarks mo and sa jokes. Kakain kayo together. Those relationships are stronger than most online relationships. May exceptions pa din. Okay? Pero I've proven it through the years na mas naglalast yung ganong klase ng connections. So pwede mo yung pwede mong i-leverage whichever way. Okay? Ayun nga, if you have spare money, use money to grow aligned network based on the career shift that you're trying to build. Yeah. Now, may follow-up questions ba from the group?
Solid. Thanks, coach. Nalala ko lang bigla, sa offline event tayo unang nagkita, di ba? Naglibre ka ng pizza.
Oo nga. Sa Pampanga, no? Pampanga nga pala yun, no? Yeah. Solid. Ayun. Sige. The room is open for any questions you may have. Anything you're trying to sort out, kailangan ng advice in, wag lang illegal. So, pwede natin pag-usapan yan. Wag illegal kasi recorded. So, anyway, sige. Siyempre, nandito kayo, hindi naman para makinig lang. No, kayong gustong ma-improve, di ba? Sa buhay or isang area na you can grow in. Okay? Or pwedeng lang, parang, hindi ko na kaya to kagi, kailangan tapusin ko na to. Di ba? Huwag lang tao yung tapusin mo. Mayayari tayo dyan. So, ang rule namin sa life systems, sa team, kahit anong gawin mo, basta walang mamamatay, okay. Yeah. Anyway, sige. The floor is open for questions. Lizelle, may question ka ba? Naka-video on ka. Si Nina, ayaw ko nang tanongin kasi nag-araw-araw na kayo kailangan. So, okay na yan. Meron ba? Anything in mind? And mute. Yeah.
Kinood lang ako ulit, coach. Go back. Medyo nag-ano lang ako parang hindi muna ako nag-ano talaga sa mga ganito kasi para makapokus ko in one thing. But yun.
Yeah.
And yeah, bumalik uli ako para sabi ko nga, siguro tama na yung time na binigay ko sa sarili ko. Balik uli sa mga ganitong webinar para ma-refresh ulit. Para lang.
Solid.
And then yes, pero nagbabasa naman po ako sa lahat ng post niyo at saka doon sa groups. So yeah, natututo po ako doon pa lang na ako na-inspire na ako. So inaano ko lang yung self ko muna to motivate on my own, and then naisip ko baka kailangan ko na ulit lumabas para may, and then buntis kasi ako kaya kailangan kong para to refresh again kasi parang tinatamad ako these days.
Got it. I appreciate you sharing and being here. Your presence here means a lot. Kasi shows intentionality eh. Like, alam ko nga di ba, na you're ready. So, hindi na, parang, syempre, iba yung cycles, no? Sa energy, di ba? Sa paggamit ng oras, you're preparing for a big shift then afterwards. Touch na lang ako onte on that, no? Kasi 70% of my clients din talaga are women, no? And of course, ako, hindi ko nang mararanasan ever mabuntis, di ba? So, very unique, yan, for women, circumstance, no? And maraming related na scenarios when it comes to being pregnant, no? Or having kids, ganyan. Mas hands-on. Wala ibang pwede mag-breastfeed kundi mga nanay, di ba? Very unique yung ganong situation, no? So, may mga adjustments talaga na nangyayari, di ba? During the time of pregnancy and then afterwards. For life and business, no? Even in relationships, no? Lahat yan may mga adjustments na nangyayari. Minsan yan eh. Parang may mga goals na madedelay muna, di ba? May mga desires ka na hindi mo muna basta magagawa ng paraan o mapufulfill. So, mapupush back ng onte yung ibang parts ng mga pinapangarap, yung ibang mga goals na minsan parang kapag pinlano, expected yung pagbubuntis. okay lang. Pero kapag yung mga tipong nag-set ka na ng goal for the year, ganyan, tapos sige na, game na to, tapos biglang nangyari. Ayun, may reaction ulit ka, mag-adjust ulit. Anyway, yeah, being pregnant is one good example of life happening. No, literal na life happening inside, di ba? The womb. But at the same time, yung mga life happens events, yan yung mga hindi natin napag-aanda. Okay? Could be something sort of a blessing, okay? Which is, yeah, yung having a baby, di ba? Is falls into that category. Pero minsan yung mga life happens events naman natin, unexpected and nasa negative side naman siya. Okay? So, minsan it's about loss, about grieving, may aksidente, ganyan, about illness. There's different life happens events. Eh. And isa sa mga goal ko with life systems is hindi naman necessarily maging maayos yung buhay. Okay? Part yun. Kasi nga, I believe, pwede pang maging better yung life at any point. Pero, it's more about yung moment kasi na to, na meron tayo. Lumipas to, tapos na siya. Hindi mo na siya mababalik. Negative moment man yan, o positive moment in your life. Pag natapos yung moment na yun, tapos na siya. Okay? It has passed you by. Na-experience mo na, tapos na. The idea is, life systems exists para mas matutunan natin paano susulitin yung every season of life. Yan. It's not meant para ayusin lang natin lahat ng mga stuff. Kasi meron naman mga bagay na unexpected talaga na we can't do anything about it or at least not right away. Okay? So, ang mangyayari doon, kailangan mong i-embrace yung season na yun. At pag in-embrace mo yung season na yun, yung pag-embrace pa lang in itself makes life better na kagad. May mga kailangan kang i-let go, may mga kailangan kang tanggapin, may mga kailangan kang i-adjust. Para sa mga life happens kind of events. Yeah. Yung idea lang din is, nagiging mas madali siya na mag-adjust kapag meron kang karamay. Bumibigat naman kung saaling may life happens events na, hindi mo na paghandaan, di unexpected, wala sa plano, tapos mag-isa ka pa. So, yung feeling ng ganun is parang can be very frustrating, can be very draining. Okay? So, gusto ko lang talaga mas mag-create ng space through life systems na, okay, at least alam ng isang person na kahit anong mangyayari sa buhay niya, hindi niya kailangan harapin ng mag-isa lang. And that in itself is an empowering scenario. Yung tipong alam mo at any point in time, meron kang at least one person na karamay in your situation. Minsan ang kailangan lang natin is makikinig. Tapos kapag nasabi mo na yung mga rant mo, tsaka mga hinanakit, tsaka mga kung ano-anong pinifigure out mo sa buhay, di mo naman kailangan solusyon eh. Di ba? Kailangan mo lang minsan, mapakinggan ka, ma-express mo, tapos mas magaan na sa feeling. Pero minsan din naman, ang mas kailangan natin is someone who can show us solutions na hindi pa natin naiisip. Magkaroon tayo ng light bulb, aha moments, di ba? Oo nga, no, pwede pala yun, hindi ko na-consider yun. Diba? And that is an equally valid thing na I want to provide people within life systems. So binabanggit ko to kasi wala namang kayong mga tanong. Tapos umaandar yung oras natin. So may 34 minutes pa tayo, diba? Na magchichikahan dito. Yeah. Some of you here kasi nakikinig lang. Baka may mga stuff na you're trying to figure out pa in life right now. Baka nga yung mismong tanong hindi mo pa ma-figure out. Yeah. From RD, hello Kage, gusto ko lang mag-drop by. Pero napaisip ako dun sa answer mo with Shiv. Share more. Saang part? Haba ng usapan namin eh. Go, RD.
Yung sa di ba sabi mo yung skill courses, hindi talaga siya paano ba? Hindi talaga siya napipapasa. Kasi di ba, nag-build ako ngayon ng online presence and then naka-optimize yung profile ko. And I'm targeting online courses, online course creators.
Yeah.
Basta napaisip ako, am I targeting the wrong people?
No. Here's the thing. Skills ay hindi napapasa. But it doesn't mean that skill courses are not helping people. Does that make sense? Magkaiba kasi yun eh. Pag nag-avail ka ng something in relation to wanting to learn a skill courses are an accelerator. Pampabilis ng learning. Pero kung matututunan at ma-develop mo talaga yung skill, it's based on your own practice.
Okay. Yeah. Napaisip lang ako. Tamang tao ba yung target ko? And then yun, may na-realize din ako as I follow yung mga leads ko. Parang nasa maling platform ako. Kasi most platforms na nakikita ko, nasa YouTube, X, then Instagram sila. So parang, yeah. Parang dun ako mag-build. Kaso, yeah. Ayun. So, usually kapag YouTube, kailangan ko mag-create
Okay.
videos.
You might be overthinking it. Okay. So, the idea is, conversations ang metric. Okay? If you want more client opportunities, you want more conversations. Okay? So, there's tons of ways to get more conversations. Pero example, kung ang targeted mo may course creator tapos nasa YouTube, kailangan bang gumawa ka rin ng sarili mong YouTube channel para magkakapag-usap lang kayo? Pwede. Pwedeng pag nag-create ka ng YouTube channel mo, mas makaka-relate kayo sa isa't isa kasi may YouTube channel din siya. Tapos pag nag-usap kayo, it's easier. Pero, yun lang ba yung only way to get into a conversation with someone na course creator na may YouTube channel? I don't think so. Pwede mag-comment ako sa mga key videos niya and itag ko siya at magpapansin ako. Pwedeng through AI, mahanap ko yung email niya, tapos mag-send ako sa kanya ng cold email. Pwedeng mahanap ko yung LinkedIn or Facebook profile niya, tapos i-stalk ko yun, tapos makikita ko na best friend niya yung isang person, na asawa, ng tito, ng lolo, ng kapitbahay, ng aso. You get what I mean? If you really want to get into the conversation, there's different ways para diskartehan yung conversation na yun to happen. Okay, but the rule is a conversation. Sobrang gusto mo ba ng conversation na talagang mag-build ko ng YouTube channel para lang makausap yung tao na yun? Go ahead. Pero ako hindi ako ganun kasipag. Okay? Hindi ako mag-build ng something sobrang effort just for one conversation. Depende lang siguro sobrang, example kung kunyari nasa panahon ako ni Jesus, di ba? Tapos gustong-gusto ko talaga siyang makausap, malamang gagawa ako ng bonggang-bonggang paraan. Di ba? Pero if it's for clients, I mean, di mo kailangan i-overhaul yung buhay mo tapos magsimula ng something na hindi mo naman talaga super trip just to get into a conversation. The metric is conversation. Okay? And minsan we lose sight of that. Example, kaya-create ka ng content. Tapos everyday nagka-create ka ng content. Yes, content can produce conversations. But the goal is not producing content. The goal is conversations. Diba? So yung iba, example, yes, nakagawa ko ng content today. Tapos 3 years na siya nagko-content tapos wala pa rin conversation. There's no point to it. Diba? There's no point to celebrating movement if wala namang progress towards the actual goal. Okay? So we gotta make sure na, yes, okay lang, celebrate natin yung efforts natin. Pero tingnan natin how those efforts lead to the actual outcomes that we are aiming for or we should be aiming for. It's not enough to just move. So for every movement, we document it and then we can ask for feedback o tayo na mismo yung tumingin sa metrics natin, umuusad ba? Kasi kung hindi, we need to move differently. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Isang advantage ng coaching is feedback. Same with mentorship, feedback. So habang gumagalaw ka, kwento mo yung mga ginagawa mo dun sa coach or mentor mo. Tapos mabibigyan ka niya ng insight into things you can improve, things that you need to eliminate, things na kailangan mo idagdag, kailangan mo ibawas. Okay. So ngayon, mas magiging optimize yung pag-adjust mo. Mas hindi sayang yung time, energy, at attention mo sa paggalaw. Okay? So one of the best use case scenarios, if you have a mentor or a coach, is magkwento ka. Kung ano yung nangyayari sa buhay mo, ano yung action that you've taken, ano yung naging resulta or lack of results, and then you ask for feedback. Even in organizations na outside of entrepreneurship and freelancing, example sa corpo, okay, you get better if you're willing to receive feedback from someone who has more experience than you. The more feedback loops that you have and you execute on that feedback, mas gumaganda yung performance mo moving forward. With better performance, kung maayos yung sistema ng kumpanya at wala namang masyadong politika, you get better opportunities. Okay. Outside of corpo, entrepreneurship, freelancing, you're building your own business. Diba? You're building your own income stream. Wala kang immediate feedback loops. Kailangan, i-create mo yun. Ito sakit to ng maraming freelancers. Pag tinanong ko sila, may testimonials ka ba from your client? Yun. Yung sagot nila doon says it all. Ha? 5 years ka na nag-freelance, so wala kang testimonials? Bakit? Ilang clients na nare-retain mo and all that, wala kang testimonials. That shows na hindi talaga sila humihingi ng feedback from their clients. Pag humingi ka ng feedback, kung good feedback yun, instant testimonial na yun. Okay? Ayaw nating harapin yung potential na negative na maririnig natin with what we are doing. Non-confrontational yung usual mode ng Pinoy. So yung feedback, malayo yun sa priorities natin. Pero pag hindi natin hinihingi yung feedback, hindi na natin nalalaman what we can improve, hindi pa natin nalalaman saan masaya yung clients natin o mga katrabaho natin with what we are doing. So kung sakali na mawala yung opportunity na yun, parang back from scratch ka. Kasi wala kang data point of the things na you can do better and the things that you are already doing best. So makakapana naman ulit lahat. Anyway, we have 24 minutes. Parang ang dami kong sinasabi no, pero ang bagal ng oras. Dahil ba nasa Bacolod ako? Kaya ganun. Anyway, any questions from the group? Anything you want to sort out?
Coach, may tanong na ako about the feedback.
Yeah.
Mostly kasi of my clients, hindi masyado sila nagbibigay sa akin ng testimonials, but they, lagi sila na-appreciate yung ginagawa ko. I know that it's already a feedback, but once na maghihingi ako ng video, siguro pa iyain lang. Or wala lang talaga silang time to write something na feedback. Ano kayang magandang approach kapag ganyan? Kasi everything busy or something. Nahihiyan ako mangulit. Pero every time na ginagawa naman ako, and then nag-uusap kami, nag-ano talaga sila, nagsasabi talaga sila how I work with them, ganyan. Pero yun nga lang, in writing or in video, parang hindi sila ganun ano talaga.
I get it. Sakit ngayon, I know a lot of freelancers like you, magaling sa ginagawa nila, pero hindi nila na-document. Hindi lang kasi for marketing ang feedback. Una, for self-improvement naman talaga siya. That's one. Okay? Pangalawa is systems. Okay? So pag magaling ka sa isang bagay, na-appreciate ni client, ibig sabihin, gawin mo na ng SOP yun. Gawin mo ng documentation yung mismo process mo na yun kasi mapapadali na yung buhay mo na moving forward, naiintindihan nila mas mabilis. And then of course, for marketing, if maghahanap ka pa ng other opportunities, pwede mo magamit yun. Anyway, so a few things. Pinakamabilis is to give them multiple choice questions. Okay? Wherein, it's a survey, okay? Kayang sagutan lang, less than 5 minutes tapos na. Kaya nga yun, na parang 2-minute survey lang and then you get an idea na agad what they think about your services and what you do with them. So pwede yun mapasimple. Okay. Now, kailangan ba video testimonial? Kung yun nga, oras usually yung bottleneck kapag ako never ako humingi ng video testimonial. Kasi entrepreneur din ako. I know how busy things can be kapag hustle mode talaga, ang daming kailangan kalikutin. Business pa lang yun, meron pang buhay. Diba? So, depende kung pamilyado na yan, diba? Ilan anak niya, whatever. So, iba-ibang scenario yan. So, I never ask for video testimonial. And that's totally fine. There are different ways for you to get something like a video testimonial. So example, may meeting kayo. Okay? You're there with them sa Zoom. Okay? And then, mga last 5 minutes of the meeting, hey, quick favor lang, like, can I get 5 minutes of your time? I just want to ask you about my services and get feedback from you. Yung last 5 minutes na yun, kung ano yung nandun sa survey questions mo, halos yun lang rin naman yung itatanong mo and then i-deliver nila yung answer within that. Kung recorded yung meeting na yun, which you can request na recorded yun, then that portion of the conversation na meron kayo, yun na yung video testimonial mo. Okay? Some clients, ang hesitation nila sa pag-video is they don't really know what to say. Kaya kailangan nila ng prompts. Pero pagkausap mo na sila, kaharap mo na sila, at ikaw na yung nag-deliver ng prompts, natural na lang nilang sasabihin kung ano yung nasa puso naman na talaga nila all along. So ginawa mo lang live yung pag-create with them. Yeah. That is something I've done many times, especially sa agency na meron kami before. So, yeah, mas madali. And ganun din. Nangyayari to hindi lang through Zoom, with my clients, kakain kami ng client, ganyan, and stuff. So, pag-usap namin, sabi ko, hey, video shoot lang tayo, just want to ask you a few questions. Yeah, kailangan namin to for feedback and all. So, yun lang. Before umalis with the client, mga last 5 to 10 minutes, okay na kami with that conversation, we got that feedback. So, if you really want a video testimonial, pwede yun. Isisingit mo lang. Now, paano mo yun masisingit? Masisingit mo yun, yung iba kasi parang mahihiya mag-ask. Okay? In your case, di mo alam mahihiya mag-ask kasi paulit-ulit naman yung sinasabi, they appreciate you. Okay? Ina-assume ko, may mga bagay na dapat 2 oras mo ginagawa, kaya mong gawin ng 1 oras. Do you feel me? Diba? So parang, ibig sabihin, may expertise ka na dun sa ginagawa mo. Ibig sabihin, you're saving your client's time. Okay? It wouldn't make sense to have a 1-hour meeting with you kung kayang gawin yung meeting na yun in 30 minutes. And kayang gawin yung meeting na yun in 30 minutes kasi magaling ka sa ginagawa mo. So you've already saved them time. It wouldn't hurt to ask them a little bit of extra time within that meeting. Diba? So, ganun din with my clients 1 oras lagi yung, or 45 minutes, dati 1 oras. Ngayon, pag may calls kami, 45 minutes lang. Yung nakalagay sa calendar. Pero, 15 minutes lang, tapos na kami sa pag-uusapan namin eh. Tapos, nagchichikahan na lang kami dun sa ibang extra oras. Wala ganun talaga kapag maayos na eh. maayos yung relationship, maayos yung trabaho. Tipid talaga sa oras kahit yung allotment namin na 45 minutes, di na nauubos yun. Yun. Kaya marami sa clients ko ngayon, Viber calls lang okay na. Di na kami nagsuzoom. Kasi parang ano lang parang quick check-ins na lang yung nangyayari. Yan. But you get where you get the answer, di ba, from here.
Yes.
Pasimplehin mo lang sa kanila. It's either you give them something they can do ng mabilisan, like a survey form, or gawin mo ng live. Kasi you can request that naman with your relationship with them. Yeah. Yeah. Eto, anonymous question. Hanggang kailan need mag-prepare? At kailan mo malalaman na prepared ka na? Example, sa pag-aasawa, ganun. Ano yung mga targets na need is it? Marriage is one of the trickiest things to prepare for. Kasi madalas, ang nangyayari is, mayroong certain standards. Example, kailangan yung lalaki kaya nang bumuhay ng pamilya. Diba? Kailangan yung babae, marunong sa magluto, di ba? Mga ganun. May mga ganong expectation na siniset. Pero arbitrary lahat yun. Kasi within a long-term relationship, one good example is marriage. You're not just marrying the person for who that person is right now. You're also marrying all the future versions of that person hanggang sa huli mong hininga. Which means lahat ng matututunan niya pang skill, kung hindi siya marunong magluto ngayon, matututunan mo na magluto eh. Paano? Papracticein mo. Diba? So kailangan kanyang paglutuan, tapos sa una, tatanggapin mo na baka hindi pa masarap. Pero, kung mapapractice niya yun moving forward, magiging part ng version of that person you love na, hey, ako na nagluluto para sa'yo. Masarap yung luto ko. And then, I-enjoy mo na din. So, example for marriage, if it includes other people, ano mang klase ng partnership? Marriage included, pero medyo unique yun kasi one-on-one partnership yun, na kayo lang yun hanggang sa huling hininga. But, whenever you engage with someone, may ibang tao included into a specific project, to a specific direction, you're not just working with the version of the person right now. You're also working with all the future versions of that person until the time frame na meron kayo working on something. Okay. So, doon nagiging tricky yung projects, especially with other people. Kasi, ang pwede mong i-prepare, of course, lahat ng mga stuff na nasa iyo talaga, responsibility mo talaga. But at the same time, I would say, dalawang bagay na pinakailangan natin i-prepare is yung flexibility to adjust with the people included dun sa project na yun o sa direction na yun. Okay? Pangalawa is, paano magkakaroon ng communication na maayos. Yeah. If you can prioritize yung dalawa na yun, safe ka na sa kahit anong bagay. Willing akong maging flexible at mag-adjust sa mga tao in this specific project, and willing ako at gagawa ko ng paraan to communicate yun sa mga tao within this project. Okay. Lahat ng iba pang mga bagay outside of those two, mas tangible tsaka practical na yun. Kung wala kang pera, gawa ng paraan yung pera. Okay. Kung hindi pa alam kung saan titira, maghahanap ng titirahan. Kung hindi pa malinaw yung goal, lilinawin yung goal. So hanggang kailan need mag-prepare? So kahit nga walang preparation yung isang tao, kung willing siyang mag-adjust at mag-communicate, tas ganun din yung mga tao included dun sa direction na tinatahak niya, okay lang yun. Makakapag-adjust siya. Hindi kung may mga unexpected stuff man dun na dun niya lang marirealize na sana pala nag-prepare ako for this and all. Andun na yung willingness niya to adjust and to communicate in the first place. Kaya pa rin i-navigate. So di ko alam if na-answer ng maayos yung question na to from my point of view. Pero magkaiba kasi yung nakapag-prepare ka versus feeling mo ready ka na. Yeah. Yung feeling of readiness, that almost always never happens. Yung 100% ready ka na. Wala naman talaga kasing ganun. May mga life happens events. Hindi mo ma-anticipate yan lahat. Pero yung preparedness, kahit yung dalawa lang na yun, yung willing ka mag-adjust tsaka willing ka mag-communicate, prepared ka na nun for anything and everything. Walang bagay na hindi na pag-uusapan at walang bagay na hindi mo kayang i-navigate kung willing ka to embrace adjustments. May follow-up question ba dito? We have 11 minutes. Yung sagot ko, pang foolproof answer yun. So, nag-expect talaga ako ng follow-up question dito. Kasi tangibles yung isang hinahanap ng question na to. Pero wala kasing one-size-fits-all formula. Diba? So, example lang sa marriage Meron mga kilala na talagang walang-wala sila. nung kinasal sila. Pero ngayon, sobrang solid. Like within the span of 8 years. Meron naman akong kilala na sana mas maging maayos yung marriage nila moving forward. Pero hindi sila nagsimula from walang-wala. Di ba? May mga naipundar na, minsan nga ano yun eh, minsan nga mas messy yun eh. Yung tipong kailangan ko mag-prenup. Kasi kung sakali maghiwalay, yung mga ari-arian ko na napundar ko nung single pa ako, wala ang dapat karapatan dyan sa mga yan. So, prepared sa ibang areas, pero yung core areas that make that project supposedly work, yun yung kinulang. Yeah. Fox naman, nasagot naman, struggle lang na baka mas stuck doon sa preparation stage. Well, kaya nga kahit yun lang dalawa na yun eh. Na-establish nyo na ba how to communicate sa isa't isa whatever happens? Okay? Na-establish nyo na ba na willing kayong, di ba, you and me against the world? Okay? Na kahit anong mangyari, we'll brave it through. Magkakampi tayo. Yeah. If those things are established, wala. I mean, kung marriage yung pag-uusapan, okay na yun. Solid na yun. Doesn't have to be overcomplicated. Especially if yung iba naman mga stuff like finances and all, pareho naman may trabaho, pareho naman nakakapag-ipon, lahat ng iba, figure outable na yan. Diba? Yeah. Anyway, last 8 minutes. I think we'll have room for one last question. Meron ba?
Coach, may
Yeah.
isa lang po akong pahabol na tanong. Good
Go
afternoon
ahead.
po sa lahat. Yung sa akin lang po kasi, matagal ko nang nababasa yung emails ninyo. Tapos talagang, yung iba doon, tumatatak sa isip ko, as in, iniisip ko talaga na nakaka-relate ako doon, o kaya may nakukuha akong tips talaga na kakatulong sa akin. Pero yung most recent, yung kung saan ako nag-sign up para po dito sa call na to, yun yung talagang nasa isip ko ngayon since nasa survival mode ako. So kung ano po kaya yung advice mo sa mga taong nandun sa survival mode? Halimbawa, kailangan ko ng coach, alam ko kailangan ko na ng mentor, pero hindi ko pa afford sa ngayon. Ano kayang panghahawakan ko para makarating ako dun sa point na kaya ko ng yung ganong space?
Right.
Ayun po.
Sige. Establish natin. No? Actually, yung sinasabi mo survive, naisip ko yung star-stalking, dream, believe, survive. Anyway, intrusive thoughts. The idea is a mentor or a coach is not required for breakthrough. Okay? Maraming mga bagay in the life of any person na pwede namang ma-figure out even if walang coaching or mentorship sa buhay niya. Pwede rin kasi na magkaroon ng high dependence. Okay? High dependence on a coach or a mentor. Pero unnecessary yung dependence na yun. Okay? A coach and a mentor na effective will make you realize how your own capabilities can help you navigate life. One of the rules ko before when I was doing tutorials, because I'm a teacher by profession, I teach social studies to high school students. And then on sideline ko dati, nag-tutorial ako sa preschool to college. So different subjects. And ang rule ko is kapag tinutor na kita last year, di na kita i-tutor next year. Kung same subject yun. Okay? So, ganun yung rule ko. Sinasabi ko rin sa parents ng mga kids. Pag tinutor ko yun sa math, di ko na i-tutor sa math next year. Okay? Kasi ang goal ko, kapag nagturo ako, is kailangan hindi na nila ako kailangan moving forward. Kumbaga yung success metric ko. Pag tinutor ko, hindi ko na kailangan i-tutor ulit moving forward. Self-defeating yun when it comes to the viewpoint na coaching and mentoring, ngayon kasi, ginagawa siyang negosyo. Ginagawa siyang business. Therefore, ang goal ng isang coach and mentor na ang treatment sa ginagawa niya ay business is mas maraming sessions kasi mas kikita yung business. Okay? Sa akin, baliktad. Mas onting sessions, mas masaya. Kasi ibig sabihin, kung ano yung kailangan ng person, na-sort out niya na, and may foundations na siya to build on top of moving forward. Okay? Now, if you look at your life right now in the survival stage, you can simply look for ano ba yung areas na kapag naayos ko na, okay na ako. Kumbaga, baka hindi mo na nga kailanganin ng mentor and coach in the first place kapag yun yung area na na-fix na. If you can figure that out, if you can see that, okay, and maayos mo na yun, at least choice na if you will get a mentor or a coach moving forward. Yeah. Quick question, have you identified na ba ano yung key area If there's only one thing you can fix right now, if ma-fix yun, alam mong okay ka na for the most part.
Sa akin po, yung limiting beliefs ko po talaga eh. Kasi katulad mo rin po, nagtututor ako ngayon. So, tutorials din yung ginagawa ko talaga. Tapos, nagsimula ako na binabayaran nila ako 100, 200 per hour. Pero po nung nag-join na ako sa mga freelancing na mga workshops, yung doon ko nalaman na pwede ka palang mag-charge na yung happy price mo o yung sa tingin mo, yung mabubuhay ka, na makakapagturo ka din, matututo din sila sa'yo. So medyo okay po ngayon, pero dahil sa maling mga financial decisions din, tsaka sabi nyo kanina, yung life happens nga, parang nandito talaga ako sa stage na makakaahon pa ba? Kasi yung pumapasok sobrang liit compared sa ano, kailangang bayaran, kailangang i-cover. Tapos,
Right.
ayun po, kaya survival mode talaga. Hindi lang sa sarili ko, kasi yung family ko din, ang daming nangyari. Kaya
Right.
po, yun yung iniisip ko na kung kakayanin ko pa. Kasi mga 1 taon, 2 taon pa eh, para feeling ko matatapos ko lahat.
Right. And it seems to me you're in a good place. What do I mean by that? Kaya mo eh. Hindi, eto yun medyo weird to. Yung tanong nakakayanin ko ba? Hindi yung tinatanong ng mga taong hindi naniniwala na may part sa kanila nakakayanin yung sitwasyon. Does that make sense? Kasi kung walang part sa'yo naniniwala na kaya, ang sasabihin mo na lang sa sarili mo is, ayoko na.
Okay. Oo nga, tama.
That is one big evidence na this is manageable for you. It's not easy, but manageable. And think about this. Some of our struggles, kailangan na pagdaanan natin for quite some time kasi mas doon nabibuild yung lesson na kailangan natin para hindi na maulit yung same struggle. Sabi mo 1 to 2 years, malaki yung pinagkaiba ng 1 and 2 12 months apart yun eh. Pero you're giving me that range. Ibig sabihin, pinaka mabilis na expectation mo, 1 taon tapos na to. Pinaka matagal na expectation mo, 2 years matatapos to. Pero within those both time frames na yun, nagbabago ka dun as a person. So, feeling ko natututo ka right now. Kaya ako nasasabi na you are in a good place. Natututo ka while yung confidence mo remains intact. Shaky, pero nandun pa rin, hindi non-existent. So this is doable, even without coaching and mentorship. Yeah.
Salamat po.
Yeah. I actually believe na mas makakabuti yung mundo kung wala ng coaches at mentors. Kasi ito yun and kung kailangan nyo na mag-leave kasi 5 PM na, okay lang naman. Pero yeah, I actually believe mas makakabuti yung mundo kung walang coaches and mentors. And here's my reason why. Okay? Kaya lang naman ako may trabaho bilang coach at mentor. Okay? Kasi maraming mga example sa family, mga tao na feeling nila hindi sila sinusuportahan ng pamilya nila. So instead na ang kausap nila, tatay nila, nanay nila, mga kapatid nila, para mas maintindihan yung sitwasyon nila and makareceive ng advice, wala eh. Hindi available for them eh. So mag-hire sila ng someone else. And sa mga ganong scenario, nalulungkot ako. Kasi in a perfect world, supposedly, our family members, kung yung advice na kailangan natin is pasok sa experience nila, dapat doon na tayo lalapit in the first place. Mentors, ganun din. Yung educational system natin, sobrang kulang-kulang. Kung natuturuan lang tayo about finances, di ba, yung maayos na values, about entrepreneurship from the start, hindi tayo makangapa ng ganito sa entrepreneurship at freelancing. Sa financial literacy, daming hindi mababaon sa utang, hindi ma-addict sa scatter. So, wala eh. Well, sobrang tagal pa eh. Baka nga patay na ako bago mangyari yung ganong scenario. Pero I believe every person should naturally be a coach and a mentor in their own way. Para mapunan natin yung pagkukulang ng lahat ng mga sistema na kulang pa ngayon sa mundo. So wala nang coach and mentor, hindi dahil walang nagpa-function as coach and mentor. Ang mawawala lang is title. Hindi natin kailangan tawaging coach at mentor yung mga tao. Kasi natural na sa atin na if we can guide a person, we'll guide them. If may knowledge tayo na pwedeng i-share sa iba, we'll share it. So we're living coaching and mentorship lifestyles. Kahit di tayo tawaging coach or mentor. Yeah. Anyway, lang yun, hugot ko lang yun sa buhay. I guess, to commemorate this, gusto ko lang mag-take ng picture. So pwede kayo mag-video on. Final picture tayo before we let this session go. Kaya para nakita natin ang isa't isa. Okay. Game. So, bilang lang ako. And 3, 2, 1. And Natutuwa ako sa itsura ko ngayon kasi sun-kissed yung background ko. Anyway, maraming salamat. Quick announcement, by tomorrow I have ano ba yun, Ninya? Mag-open tayo ng annual membership na program. It's basically Life Systems Guild membership. Tinatamad na ako mag-explain eh. So, abangan nyo lang yung mga posts kung trip nyo pa rin like mga gantong sessions and any support I can provide to your journey. If you feel like I can help with that, yeah, being a part of that guild would be a nice thing. Yeah. Sige, I'll let you go muna. Happy Thursday and yeah, take care everyone. Cheers.